Hey everyone, this is Cam for 15 back with another video. Now, I was going to upload my Dora the Explorer movie review today, right as I'm making this video. But after the big news that just hit today, after I literally just woke up out of my sleep to, it was a rumor like a few weeks, month ago, about Spider-Man possibly leaving the MCU. And my goodness, he is out. He is out. He is out. Now, I watched two videos before making this video, and, I couldn't stand to watch another video because I want to make this video right now to, show my frustrations and my anger and my thoughts to this. And I think this is flat out stupid that this is happening. Now, I could pull up an article, talk about the details, but from what I've watched the videos and I can remember clearly that basically when Marvel and Sony were meeting up for a deal, I'm guessing from this one video, Marvel wanted to have more revenue and more say, a little bit more revenue from this, really, our Disney as a whole. They wanted more, overall revenue from getting the movies, getting the money from the Spider-Man movies. And I guess Sony just didn't want that, and, I guess there was a 50-50 deal on the table. No sides took it, and things fell down, but really, what I'm trying to say is the negotiations fell down. So whatever I previously said don't really matter about that. Negotiations just fell down, and because of it, Sony's taking Spider-Man back with them to Sony. And congrats, you had just killed off probably one of the best Spider-Mans for basically almost half this decade. And now, you got a lot of upset fans on Twitter, a lot of upset fans who are fans of the MCU and what they've done with Spider-Man and everything. And now, Sony how can I say this? The fear that most fans had doing it. When will be the point where Sony messes it up? When will be the point Sony F's it all up and ruins it? Well, this can be the start of a major F up. And it possibly could not be a major F up. Now, Marvel Studios, Disney, from their aspect, I can't hate on them. But the only thing I can hate on them is they just couldn't come to an agreement and a deal with, Sony. One, if they wanted more revenue for these Spider-Man films, I don't know what they're talking about. I can understand them wanting more money, more moolah in this case from the Spider-Man movies that they're producing. Kevin Feige's producing. But, at the end of the day, they have so many other properties that have made them big bank. Literally. They're coming off Avengers Endgame that made them probably billions of dollars. And for just one little, property, which is big, they can't come to an agreement, a deal with Sony and be like, okay, whatever. Stuff like that. And it's funny because it's like, oh, they always come out saying, we want to do the MCU right for the fans and make them happy. Well, then why didn't you do it right by just signing an agreement? You already know you're going to make more money off the movies you're coming out with. You just coming off the heels of buying X-Men and Fantastic Four, which are going to obviously be cash, hopefully not cash grabs. And, people go to see and they say, those are great movies. And now, they have so many other properties in Disney. Hell, they want to remake so many other properties of so many classics. They're cash grabs so much in these live action remakes. They're making money off that. You got the Star Wars, who's somehow trying to save itself, and it got fans intrigued because they're gonna try to see it. That's my little thing with the Disney, or with the Disney side. And the last little thing is the fact that Disney could not come up to an agreement with everything I just said. How they can make much more money off all these other properties they own, other than just one measly property. It makes no sense. Personally, I know they want to have the right deal for them, but literally, in some cases, you gotta see from an aspect of the fans' perspective. And I'm gonna get to that real quickly. Real quickly. Now we get to the side where everyone knew, or there was a point where there had people in the back of their heads where they knew this one company, Sony Pictures, whatever. Sony Pictures, I don't understand. I don't understand. You're coming off the highest grossing Spider-Man film in the history of anything of Spider-Man being in theatrical releases. And now you want to pull the plug on him? You cannot be kidding me. You cannot be kidding me. And after this other video I was listening to, which is one of Geekdom 101's videos, please go check that out. After near the tail end of his video, because he gave a little mini rant, is apparently Far From Home's re-releasing in theaters. Because, Sony would like to make a lot more money. That's all that cares to them. Money, money, money. There's a reason why they did the deal with Spider-Man to put him in the MCU. Money. They're re-releasing it just like Endgame for extra moolah. So with these news breaking out, can I just say this? I don't blame people for not seeing this movie, going to go see this re-released movie in theaters, nor not even wanting to. And, it definitely makes sense to why some people might boycott films, these upcoming Spider-Man films, because they're going to voice their frustrations to Sony of saying, what the hell are you doing? What we had going on with Marvel was fine. It was good. It was great. And now you just took him away because of your selfish asses. Let's be real. Sony only cared about the money, and after the successes, not only of the 1 billion made movie of Spider-Man Far From Home, but Into the Spider-Verse, which did well and saw good positive reviews and made pretty good money for, which they know when they make number 2, it's going to probably make more than that. And then even Venom, who actually, surprisingly, people thought it was going to be a flop, but it was actually really good, and I thought it was a really good movie. Now, there's many ways you can interpret this. Now, I definitely think, the reason why Sony wasn't so lenient of giving into Marvel's terms was mostly because of Spider-Man Far From Home. And, well, a little bit of Spider-Man Far From Home, but morally with the Spider-Verse movie and the Venom movie doing so well as it is. And that's from the aspect of this. Sony there could be a legit chance Sony can be feeling themselves, and if they are feeling themselves, just like karma, karma can be right, you know what, right back at them for doing this move. Now, the second video I was talking about, I watched about this issue. In that video, they said the one thing that's going to be a huge difference is this: Kevin Feige won't be producing Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, apparently, John Watts, the director for the past two Spider-Man, MCU films, and and then Tom Holland, apparently they're gonna make two more movies for that. And if that comes to be fruition and comes to be true, and it looks like that they're gonna continue this Tom Holland Spider-Man, it's going to be one of the most weirdest, most odd things how, it's going to work. And this is going to be from the standpoint of the MCU movies going on forward, and now the Spider-Man own property movies with Tom Holland by himself in it. One thing, it's going to be weird how, the tech suit, the Spider-Man suit's going to work. They might have to go back to the iconic classic suit now, because, that suit in the past two MCU films should be owned by Marvel. Because technically, they have something to do with tie-ins to Iron Man. And now you cannot use that. Otherwise, you're breaching across high freaking quarters and properties. And I know Marvel won't be happy if that happens. So that's one issue I see. Another issue is, and especially on the MCU side, what happens when they make the next team-up video? Or the next team-up movie? The next Avengers movie? What are they going to say? Wasn't there where's the kid? They just can't go out and... Now, they could possibly hint at that. They could be like, he's in some other part of the country dealing with whatever he's dealing with. He just, something like that. And stuff like that. But I see it weird, because when the next team-up could be like... So, where's the, where's the kid? And they could be like, I don't know, he's just doing his own thing. He couldn't make the time to be out here. That's going to be weird. That's going to be weird. And again, the MCU Spider-Man left off with a cliffhanger. So spoilers if you haven't seen it. It left off with a cliffhanger of Spider-Man's identity being revealed. Where does that go from now? They legit left it off as a cliffhanger, which will now even enrage the fans even more. Because now you left off this fantastic done movie off of a cliffhanger, now only to be like, all right, let's go. We're gonna, Sony, well, let's pack our bags. Let's take Spider-Man with us. Let's take all our properties. So now we can finally do what we want to do. And you know what? Hopefully, whatever. What? Now they can still continue that story going on into, I guess, the next movie Sony wants to do with Tom Holland and all the characters from that film. The only difference is this: there's gonna be no tie-ins to Iron Man whatsoever. So you know what that might mean. That means Happy might not be in the next film. Oh wait, Happy can't be in that film because he's MCU Happy. And you know why? I feel like, even though I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, this is going to severely, if they do come out with, if Sony does make just a Sony-only Tom Holland Spider-Man film, it's not going to do as good. It's not going to do as good. The influence of the MCU made this film stand up a lot more, made this property, the Spider-Man franchise, so much bigger than it is. And it was even getting bigger with the side project that Sony was doing on itself. I thought the way the Spider-Man aspect of the property was being used really good. And I liked it. We have Spider-Man in the MCU, which keeps us MCU fans glad. we have the side, Spider-Man stuff like the Venom. You can have more animated Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse stuff. Now, we're only getting Sony Spider-Man. So you know what that means? Any ties he had to the MCU is completely dead. No more Happy in his movies. No more references to Tony. No more references to any other superhero in the MCU. It's just Spider-Man. And it's going to come across weird. And not only the MCU films and movies when they have more Avengers movies, but in his own movies. From the standpoint of, well, this is just great. The only aspect that makes this good is this. Now they can get to the main Spider-Man villains and not have contractual disputes on what to use and what not to use and stuff like that. But now this is where I'm going to hate on Sony. Because now Sony, and this is where I'm getting to where Sony when I said like Sony is starting to feel itself, I think. They saw how good these last 3 Spider-Man movies have done. And from the point when I'm saying they might feel themselves is they're going to do their best to rush out another Spider-Man film. And when they rush out that Spider-Man film, guess what? Guess what? It can flop beyond belief. And it goes back to the whole thing of saying, fans may boycott Spider-Man films. Spider-Man movies are going to make a lot of money regardless of how bad they are. But now that you have fans upset, passionate fans of the Spider-Man fan base, and hell, maybe even MCU fans passionate about the property, they're going to be like, don't go check out the new Spider-Man movie coming out. Why should you care to go see it? Because guess what? Sony's not doing him justice. And, I won't blame them if they don't boycott the movie. Because really, that's the only way to tell Sony, other than really, just telling them on social media and giving them crap and backlash, which people are doing right now. I no doubt about it. Almost every second I'm talking, there's a new tweet coming out with somebody bashing Sony. And, I don't blame them for bashing Sony. Because Sony did the one thing all of us fans told us not to do. And that is not to F up this thing going on. And you know what they did? They already did. Amidst the rumors saying that, and then the $1 billion, and like, after the $1 billion, everyone was like, okay, that's good. All they got to do is agree to a new deal. Good. We're greenlit for, the continuation of the Spider-Man story. Not anymore. Not anymore. It is a bummer. It sucks. It pisses me off that, Disney and Sony cannot come to a deal and stuff like this. It absolutely pisses me off. And now from the aspect of this, now Sony can do whatever they want with Spider-Man. And now they're probably as giddy as can be, because now they can do the possibilities. Venom 2 coming out next year. They can legit put Spider-Man in that film now. Because Carnage is the villain, they can do the crossover. They can do the Spider-Man Venom crossover in Venom 2 now. So, Sony was giddy about that after the success of Venom 2. That was going to happen. And Sony was going to be giddy as all could be. Oh, we need Spider-Man back in here so we can put him next to Venom. Because that's what all the fans were saying was that going to happen. I just don't know, dude. I don't know. I literally woke up to this news and I was pissed beyond belief. And when, I found out, boom, it pissed me off because this was the one time where I felt, Sam Raimi's Spider-Mans were okay and are good to decent in my opinion. The Amazing Spider-Man movies, they were bad. And, the fact that we had Spider-Man in the MCU, and like I said in my Spider-Man Homecoming review, when I saw Spider-Man appear in the Captain America Civil War trailer, I was beyond happy. I was beyond excited. And I was like, the Spider-Man is finally getting the justice he deserves. And he is finally saved. Now, he's back to being in the dirt. And not the dirt sense of far down in the dirt. The property can go any types of way. But now that Sony has literally taken the giddy of the fans, the happiness of all the fans when he was in the MCU, away from us, and pulled the rope from out under the fans, it literally kills everything that, Spider-Man's been a part of in the MCU. And, now this could be bad from Sony from a standpoint of now marketing. I don't see, now there's still obviously going to be people that are going to see Spider-Man films, even if they don't want to. But if people are serious about boycotting films, especially the Spider-Man films, and Sony sees a numerous tank in the movie they make off these Spider-Man movies, you know what? I won't blame the Spider-Man movie fans in general for doing that. And you also got to think about this. The re-release of Spider-Man coming out to theaters. People might not, if not want to go see that now because of this. Because you're only giving Sony more money. And we're not even thinking about the DVDs for Spider-Man Far From Home later down in the future. There might be some people that might boycott buying the DVD now. Because now they're like, if we buy the DVDs, that's more money for Sony off their DVDs now. So why should I go buy Spider-Man Far From Home because of it? I still don't have Venom 2, and I still don't have Into the Spider-Verse on DVD. Now, I don't even know if I want to buy those movies on DVD now, because, now they're adding to the whole aspect of Sony's just making more money off those. And, it's sad to say as a Spider-Man fan, I'm mixed about going to see another Spider-Man movie. I want to see it, but at the same time, I don't want to support Sony for doing this action they made. And this is the hard part about it. I think I'll still end up going seeing Spider-Man film movies because they're my favorite movie. They're mostly the Spider-Man character. He's my favorite superhero, and I can't stop watching Spider-Man. And it's just stupid. It's just stupid that Sony did this. They pulled the rug out from under us, and they just packed their bags and like, all right, we're just gonna take Spider-Man back. Now fans are also be like, well, great. You know what? I was tired of Disney buying almost every company to mind. They just got done buying Fox. Now you got people saying, you know what? I'm actually cool with with Disney buying Sony now, or Sony Pictures. You have fans finally freaking now saying they want to buy Sony. They want to buy Sony. And I think Disney has the money and the capability to just be like, you know what? Okay, fine then. You want to take Spider-Man from us? We'll just buy you guys, and now we can get him full time. And, I won't be shocked if that even happens. I won't be shocked if maybe a year or two down the road, we get another, big headline is Disney buys Sony. I won't be shocked. I won't be shocked because if, Disney buys Sony, it's only really going to be for the property of Spider-Man. Because, Marvel's going to be like, we never had enough to do. We never wanted to finish off the character. We wanted to finish him off with. And, I wouldn't be shocked if Marvel Studios goes up to the Disney head and be like, look, we want Spider-Man full-time in our movies. They are the ones that did us dirty. We tried to put on an equal amount of deal, a 50-50 deal on the table, and they didn't want to take it. Go buy them, please. I won't be shocked if a year or two from now Disney buys Sony. And you know what? I guarantee you fans will actually be perfectly fine with that. They won't be like, oh, Disney's buying everything. No, they're going to be like, no. Because now we finally get what we rightly deserve, and that's getting Spider-Man back where he belonged in the first place. When he should have... Because, you know, there's some fans out there saying Spider-Man should have never left Marvel. Marvel should have never sold the property of Spider-Man to Sony. Because, especially now looking at it, Spider-Man is literally the one thing Sony's got going for them. And it's one of the biggest things that is keeping Sony, literally, in my opinion, I think is keeping Sony afloat. If they lose that Spider-Man property, trust and believe, no one cares about them. No one does. Whatever movies they produce going on, no one would have no care in the world. They would literally probably might even go bankrupt. I would not say. I don't know. But then really the only thing that Sony can make money off is PS4s, PlayStations, and other, you know, PlayStation properties, exclusives and stuff like that. And now, this is where I get into... This is a humongous loss for the fans. Humongous loss for the fans. I just said earlier, I was so giddy and excited when I saw Spider-Man, the Captain America Civil War trailer. If I wasn't in school that day when that trailer released, I probably would have been crying. This is a humongous loss for the fans. Because now, the fans don't get to have that enjoyment they once had. And now that, because of it, you know, things like that. And there's so many dumb companies that everybody in the world knows of when it comes to entertainment. Activision. Their mess up is adding microtransactions to Crash Bandicoot, and I don't typically talk about video games, but their mess up was adding microtransactions to Crash Bandicoot when they promised they wouldn't. Now Sony is not a typically positive company people give likes of, and everyone always is like, judging them, especially when it comes to the Spider-Man movies and stuff like that. Now the Spider-Man movies will probably more than likely make big bank, but it may also tank in sales too, because of if there are fans that are determined to boycott the next whatever Spider-Man made Sony films, whether it's Venom 2, whether it's the Morbius movie, whether it's another Spider-Man, Tom Holland film, they may purposely boycott that film because, they do not want to see, Sony get the light of day. They don't want Sony to ride the successes of a property that they love and that they feel like was going in the right direction. And I thought it was going in the right direction with, with the cliffhanger and, with the cliffhanger and everything, that this Far From Home built up now is completely gone now. It's completely gone. The only thing we're going to retain from, Spider-Man Far From Home is Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Zendaya's version of MJ. We'll still have J.K. Simmons more than likely. We'll still have Marissa Tomei's Aunt May, Ned, the characters we see with the exception of a few. You can't have Happy in there now because he has tie-ins to Iron Man. You can't, and plus Happy is part of the MCU now. So you can't have him. So literally it's going to be, I don't know where this is. Now we had an idea where the Spider-Man Tom Holland films can go on. Now we have no clue where they can go on. Because now that you took the aspect of the MCU out of it, guess what? Where are they going to go now? It feels like they're going to have to reboot a brand new Spider-Man story with those characters. And, I'm tired of seeing Spider-Man reboots. I'm tired of seeing Spider-Man reboots over and over again. We cannot get one consistent, Spider-Man story. Jeez Louise. Spider-Man is not the best, superhero, most like superhero. Up there with the Iron Mans because of the MCU and the Captain Americas because of the MCUs. And now, his character in the MCU is dead. And this is a sad day for the fans, and also a very upsetting day, from the standpoint that not only two companies could not come to a deal. And I don't care. If there was a deal Sony would have agreed to, personally in my opinion, I think Marvel should have did it. At the end of the day, these companies make billions of dollars. But, this is what I typically say about these multi-billion-dollar companies. For once, can they start thinking of the fans and what they might think? If either Disney or Sony thought of the fans in this little negotiation, and the fans may not like that, and Disney is like, all right, fine, we'll do your deal that you want. We'll accept your deal. Or Sony on Sony's case, we'll accept your deal. Now that they don't want to do that, and they weren't thinking of the fans, pisses me off. And this is the whole issue with these billion-dollar companies. And, this is the whole issue. Is that, these billion-dollar companies, all these people, they don't pay attention to the fans. They're like, they just want, and that's why I'm saying, Sony's only doing this to make money because they're writing off, they're trying to see if they can do it themselves. And that's why I say, they could be feeling themselves because they're going to feel like they're going to make as much money as what they made. And I won't be shocked if not only the Venom movie doesn't make as much money as the first Venom movie does. If they come up with another Spider-Verse movie that's going to be good, of course, but I won't be shocked if that movie does not make a lot of much more money than this first Into the Spider-Verse movie. And if we do get that third Tom Holland Spider-Man, I feel like that's not going to make more money than even freaking Far From, and it definitely won't. It definitely won't. If Sony tries to produce its own Tom Holland's film, it's definitely not making more than $1 billion. And this is where I come to the case where Marvel Studios, I say, has the last laugh. They're like, okay, I feel like this. Now, we don't know if, they'll ever renegotiate and be like, look, let's try this again. Let's see, let's give it a few months. Let's try this again. And, they come to a new deal, and then I say the property would be saved. It could be that case. It could be that case, and they say they renegotiate in November, and they come to terms and agree on a deal, and then Spider-Man's back in the MCU. That's the only thing we can pray upon that happens, is that Sony and Disney at least start talking to each other again, renegotiate another new contract, and they finally just accept a deal. And if they renegotiate, whatever freaking Sony wants Marvel to do, I say this, Marvel, just do it. Because you already saw the hate and the fan flare of, angry fans. And if it's the other way around, Sony, if you're really going to renegotiate and wanting to, boom. Now, I think when I say Marvel Studios will have the last laugh of this. Now, like I said, all those happened where, Venom 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2, and even Spider-Man, whatever it's going to be called, 3. So Spider-Man 3 for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. If they all sell less, they'll still make money, but if they all sell less than their previous counterparts, the first movies that were made. So, really, for one, personally, I don't think Spider-Man 3's Sony only made movie. The fans won't probably make more than, definitely won't make more than Far From Home. And dare I say, it might not even make more money than Homecoming. And if the same happens with Venom Into the Spider-Verse 2, I won't be shocked if Sony runs right back to Marvel and be like, okay, let's renegotiate a new deal. But at that point, it's going to be weird. So if we can renegotiate a deal before the next Spider-Man, main movie comes out, it's going to be something. And, hopefully they really just, renegotiate a deal and, fix this crap. This is crap. I'm upset and, I'm frustrated and, the fans are frustrated and, they're sick and tired of the fact that Spider-Man always has to be known as dragged down necessaries, and it can't be as good and promising and have the justice Spider-Man deserves to be, because these companies keep taking down everything he was been built up to be. This is the height at Spider-Man being built up in the MCU, and Sony just took it from us again. Now we don't know what's going to be happening in the future, and now I'm upset. I'm tired. I'm just done with this. I'm just done with this. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and I'm tired of him being stuck down in the mud because two companies can't come to a stupid agreement. And you know what? Guess what? It both makes us money, but you know what? We want more of the revenue. Oh, you can't have that. No, whatever. He's gonna make you bank regardless. You made $1 billion on your last Spider-Man movie. And now you want to pull the plug and take him out? Why couldn't you finish up the Spider-Man, movie series, the Peter Parker story? Finish that off and then take him back. But no, they want to rush out the Spider-Man content because they want to put Spider-Man in Venom 2 against Carnage, with teaming up with Venom against Carnage. They want, to make their own successes of Spider-Man because Sony wants to get all the stupid credit. They were tired of probably Marvel getting most of the credits for, having Spider-Man in this. You can see Sony in their eyes be like, this should be us. It shouldn't be them. And I feel like Sony also took them away because they didn't like the fact that Marvel was getting morally of the credit for the movies because it's the MCU. And I think Sony was tired of that. And they want to prove to see what they can do is, if not better than what MCU. And I think it's going to flop down in their face. And I sure as hell hope it does. I will go see these Spider-Man films more than not. Mostly, or more than likely, I'll go see these Spider-Man films. But Jesus, I want, I'm hoping for two things. Or no, three things. I want Spider-Man movies to flop from now on so Sony can get their heads out of their asses and realize, you know what? Maybe what we had going on with Marvel Studios was actually pretty good. I definitely want Disney now to buy Sony. Because you know what? At this point, I'm sick and tired of this. Personally, I think, in my opinion, Marvel should have the rights to any Marvel superhero they want. Because it's their property. And then three, I just hope. I just hope, when number 1 and 2, or if number 1 happens, most definitely, when all those movies flop, I hope friggin' Sony's crawling on its last limb, trying to ask for forgiveness from Marvel Studios. And that's my number 3. Them crawling back tomorrow and be like, okay, you can have Spider-Man back. Please, just help us make more money. So, if you're out there and you're thinking of boycotting the next Spider-Man movies, whether it's Venom 2, Into the Spider-Verse 2, as good as those movies can be, and even maybe the third Tom Holland Spider-Man film, or anything Sony's going to come out Spider-Man related, and you want to boycott it, go right ahead. Personally, I won't blame you. I'll be up in the theaters watching the movies, but you know what? At the same time, I could be doing the same thing. And you know what? If I really wanted to, I probably would end up doing the same thing. And that's boycotting these movies. To make Sony realize the massive effery they're screwing up on this. And, they want to do that, fine. They can go take their ball, take it to their court, and let's see how they do on their own. And, like I said, Marvel Studios will have the last laugh. They'll just be looking at Sony from the chair. Like, okay, let's see how you guys do without us. We'll be waiting over here. We'll have the X-Men, the Fantastic Four over here, and we'll show Fox how to do them right. Now, we'll see. We just showed you in basically, 5 films how to do Spider-Man right. Let's see if you can do him right, please, and thank you. And we're going to see how you fix all these continuity issues and stuff like that. We're going to see how Sony does with these. Because now, this is going to be big. It's going to definitely, now after this news, it's definitely going to be hard how Sony's going to put, asses in seats in the theaters to watch their own Spider-Man property movies now. Because now you're probably going to have fans boycotting Venom 2 now. They're going to be like, okay, so there is going to be a chance we can see Spider-Man in Venom 2 now. But why do I want to see that when we had Spider-Man going on in the MCU? This is a huge loss to the fans. And, as a Spider-Man fan, a passionate Spider-Man fan from the heart, I'm absolutely pissed. I don't like to say that I want these movies to flop, and I don't want people to boycott movies, because I'm like, always give those things a chance. But in this case, boycott the hell out of Spider-Man, Sony Pictures movies. Because my goodness, it will be the only way Sony will listen to the fans. It will take them another amazing Spider-Man flop for them to listen to the fans when they weren't doing so well financially back then. That's the only way they're going to listen. And personally, I feel like this time, if Sony does come crawling back to Marvel Studios shouldn't take the bait and be like, no, you're going to you guys go die off your slow, painful death. And as you guys lose Spider-Man properties from the grasp of your hands, we'll come up, take him back, and we'll have to reboot him all over again. I'm sorry to everybody who's a Spider-Man fan. I'm sorry to everyone who's an MCU fan. We all, collectively, have lost out big time. And so much for Area 21, or Area 51. Go raid Sony Studios, please and thank you. Because they deserve to be raided. And trust me, like I said, they're just there to rush out films. Look at the Sonic movie. It wasn't until fans spoke up about the crap they saw from the Sonic design till they finally Paramount fixed it. Apparently fixed it. We don't know if they really did fix it. I had to make this video to voice my frustrations, and this was a huge rant. This video is getting right up to YouTube the moment I'm done with this. I'm sorry, fans. We're losing out big time. The future looks bright for the property as a whole of us getting all these, what if movies and stuff like that. We can legit get a live action Into the Spider-Verse film if we wanted to in a few years. But the downside of this is no more Spider-Man in the MCU. So we don't get that third Spider-Man movie in the MCU. Because now he's dead in the MCU. We won't see him in no more Avengers films. My last thing I'm going to say is Sony, Marvel, or Disney, Sony, you're probably not going to check out, a video with this little of notice because you're not going to care much about it because you only care about the money. But please renegotiate a deal. Please renegotiate a deal and actually make the fans happy. If you plan on renegotiating a deal, think of the fans, please and thank you. Because us hardcore Spider-Man fans and fans in general of, watching the Spider-Man movies, please just renegotiate a deal and make it happen. There's still time. That's all I gotta say, guys. If you want to leave a like in the video, go ahead. If you want to hit that subscribe button, subscribe. More importantly, if you want to leave a comment what you think about this whole situation, how stupid this situation is, go ahead, leave a comment. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, because I think this is absolute bullshit. This has been Cam315, and I'm signing out. Hopefully, you guys can have a better day after this news. So till then, see you guys on the next video.